And girls, we were talking about, what did we talk about yesterday in our book? What did we talk about yesterday? Justin, that was one of the things we talked about. We did talk about the questions. What was one of those questions that we answered yesterday? Where does what? Where did water vapor come from? And where does water vapor come from? Where does water vapor come from?
The sky.
It can be in the sky. Where else does it come from?
Clouds.
It's made, yep, that's what makes up clouds. Where else?
It could come from your breath.
It comes from your breath. Remember, we can kind of feel that water vapor with the hand. It feels just a little bit wet. So we're going to continue. We're going to learn about, we've been talking lots about water vapor. We're going to talk about something else today. Something, because we talked about how the clouds form, and then it's raining, and now, yes.
When the white clouds, they get rains in them, and then
That's right. So when they're white and puffy, they don't have very much moisture, but whenever they're kind of dark, they have much more moisture. And that was kind of the difference between the drizzling and the pouring. I like how you remember that. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to continue, and I have some more questions hidden in my book. So we're going to answer some questions today. Sometimes the drops in the clouds freeze. These raindrops become ice drops. This can happen even on a hot summer day. That's because the clouds and water droplets are way high above Earth. Many clouds are so high that it's freezing cold. And this says some clouds may be higher than even an airplane can go. The higher the clouds, the colder they are. In these high, cold clouds, water vapor changes to droplets, and the droplets change to drops. So they're getting
like little tiny drops.
little tiny droplets, and then they turn into bigger drops. The drops freeze into ice. So what does water vapor do when it gets high in the clouds? What do these two pages say? What happens to the water vapor when it gets high up in those clouds, Chloe? Well, not exactly cubes. Ice cubes can come in your freezer, and we have to freeze them in that way. But when they're ice drops, they're actually little circles. So they freeze. That's correct. They freeze. Just like spheres. Let's keep going.
They look like triangles. This
That's when it's raining. Let's keep going. We're going to find out more about what we're talking about. As they're carried upward, more water collects on the tiny bits of ice. When that water freezes, the drops have ice on another layer. The ice drops are now even heavier. So once more they fall, so the air carried it up and they froze, so they got heavy. They started to fall. But the air moving away from Earth may carry the ice droplets upward again. Higher and higher they go, and another layer of ice freezes on them. So they've gone up, and they've frozen, and then they've come down, and then they've gotten up and got another layer on it. What's happening?
That doesn't look like
What's happening? They're getting bigger. The ice drops get heavier and heavier. They get so heavy that the air can no longer carry them. They get so heavy that the air cannot carry them upward. So the ice falls to the earth. It's raining ice. We're going to come back to this question because it's got a word in it that you might not know, but we're about to find out about it. Yes, Chloe.
Look at that. We're going to be in it already.
Let's find out. We're going to read what these children have to say. The ice drops are called hailstones. They may be the size of your fingernail, or they may be as big as golf balls, or even bigger. In 1970, a long time ago for us, it hailed stones so big as because softballs fell on hands.
My dad didn't say that. What?
Hailstones are not stones, though. It has stone in the name, but they're not stones. They're just called hailstones. They're actually pieces of ice. And this says when it stops hailing, you can go outside and pick up a hailstone. And you see this picture right here? If you cut a hailstone in half, that's what it would look like, because what happened to it over here? What happened to it? It got layer after layer.
It got bigger.
And it got bigger, so whenever a hailstone falls, you can actually see how many layers it took to make that hailstone. So here's one of my questions that I'm going to ask you. What is hail? What is hail?
In the hailstone.
It's what?
Because we're the butterfly.
I can't hear you with your fingers in front of your mouth.
You went the butterfly?
What are you saying?
You keep making your picture till the
What
red
is
is
a
gone.
hailstone? What is a hailstone? What did you read about? What's it made out of? Is it actually a stone? It's made out of ice. That's what a hailstone is. A hailstone is ice. So let's go look over here. Then we're going to come back to this question because this says, how does a hailstone form? How does a hailstone form? What did we see here? What did the book say, Justin? The water drops what? So the water drops go so far up that they change into ice, and then what happens, Jaden? Say it again. I think what you said was correct, but I can't hear you. It turns into ice again. So it comes up and it's ice, and then it falls down, and then it gets more ice on it, and it just keeps going like this.